This is Richard Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour podcast, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs. How are we doing, Kansas City? It is Sunday, July 29th, and we have a packed show tonight. I didn't get to record a show yesterday. There's a lot going on in my personal life and in everybody's life, so I'm sure all of you understand. But it's been a pretty loaded weekend here in training camp. What I really want to start off with today is the implementation of the no huddle in practice. If there was any questions on Mahomes being able to run the offense or run a no huddle or clearly run audible formations and change up the play, as he sees different packages in the defense, I think all those questions have been smashed. Really the only key mistake that Mahomes made, which, it was a critical error, and this can never happen in a game. And I want to repeat, it can never, ever happen in a game. He threw a horrible pass into the end zone that got tipped up. He should have never made that throw. But those are the things that happen, and that's why we have training camp, and we're going through those things. But that also tells me that our defense is, doing their job as well. But, there's Saturday, the offensive line struggled. Sunday, the defensive backs struggled. We watched Kendall Fuller get burnt by Tyreek Hill on a coverage breakdown. And those things will happen, and we just need to sharpen things up a little bit and move forward and not really worry about that too much. But the highlights out of this no huddle, Kelsey was targeted the first 5 throws out of 6. And, they were little short dumps, but they were really pertaining to getting rid of the ball against the pass rush. So it looks really, really nice. I'd like to see Kelsey get out there and really be implemented in this no huddle. And we all know how important he is to our team. Let's look at last year and the Tennessee playoff loss. So I don't want to touch base on that too much because I think we all know how we feel about that. I think my most exciting player so far out of training camp is Chris Conley. And I want to say that because he's been a productive player on our team, and I think Chiefs organization and Chiefs Kingdom, we all love Chris Conley. But with the skill set players that we have and the concentration that they will have on all the defenses will have on these skill set players, watch out for Chris Conley. He is going to slip by the defensive backs this year and look for some huge plays out of him. I would be shocked if this wasn't a breakout season for Conley, and I think that he really, really, really needs to knuckle down here and understand what he brings to the table, because he's an important asset too. We have a lot of big names, which kind of leaves his name in the shadow to most of the big broadcasting companies, but we know who Chris Conley is, and watch out for him. We might even be talking about a Pro Bowl season for Conley. I would love to see that, but it's really going to be hard to get those 1,000-yard seasons for all 4 receivers, with including Kelsey, 3 receivers and a tight end. So we'll see what happens there. We'll move on to the injury report. Charkandrick West has a concussion. He's been sitting out practice, due to the NFL concussion protocol. And, I hope that they keep him out a couple extra days just to let him rest and get his wits back about him. You never want to rush a player back on the field with a concussion. With the controversy of CTE and all those things in the NFL, we really don't want to press that issue. I like the protocol. I like what they do. Even though it might hurt the team for a moment in the long run, we need them. So let's go ahead and let them sit out and get healthy and get back out on the field. So moving on, that's really just the most notable person on the injury list. And I don't have any notes in front of me right now. I'm not quite sure who was on the injury list before that and if they still are or not, but that was just the most notable on the injury list. One player who's really been sticking out in training camp, which I really love seeing this because this will tell you how well we utilize the draft. And I'm not even talking about Braylon Speaks. I'm not talking about Dorian O'Daniel. I am talking about our 6th round pick, Tremon Smith, who is clearly running 4.3 40s, and we are looking for him to possibly be our kick returner this year, and make his way into the starting lineup, the 53-man roster, and that's exciting for the Chiefs. It's really hard for a 6th round pick to make it in a starting role. But that'll tell you just how good, Willie Davis is doing in recruiting, and, how well we are at utilizing our draft. So it's nice to see our 6th round pick making a huge splash here in training camp on kick returns. And they have said that he's also the 2nd fastest player on the team compared to Tyreek. And we all know that Tyreek has world-class speed, so you really, really just cannot compare the two. But there is nobody faster on the field besides Tyreek other than Trey Smith. So it's really nice to see that. And here's also a really good thing, and keep an open mind when I talk about this. Tremon Smith really hasn't returned a lot of kicks in his football career on any level. He was utilized more as, a punt returner or a D-back. But here's the good thing. Remember the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, that is a great thing for the NFL, is a great thing for Tremon Smith, because Dave Toub gets to sculpt his final product and, make him a kick returner. And when you're starting from scratch, that means that you're just building from scratch. So I don't look at it as a negative thing. I look at it as a positive thing, and I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table. So keep an eye on Tremon Smith, and just remember, we're getting high quality out of our deep picks in the draft, and that's exciting. That's exciting as a team, an organization to realize that we are that successful in our draft every year. Another thing I'd really love to touch base on tonight is the mental toughness coming out of the locker room. It just speaks wonders. It's speaking clearly. When every defensive player gets on the mic in training camp in an interview, they're talking Super Bowl. And obviously that should be the goal every year for any team, no matter what, is making it to the Super Bowl. But our team knows that we have what it takes. I mean, we have more than what it takes. We have every single option out there to get us to the Super Bowl. Now we just have to implement it. We have to polish our craft, and we have to knuckle down and learn and form as a team. And I think that's what's a big deal is, Justin Houston had touched base on no hotheads in the locker room, and every player coming into the locker room on this defensive side of the ball, being a new addition, none of them are quiet. None of them are keeping to themselves. They're getting ready. They're getting ready. They're going to work. They're all conversing. Nobody's trying to be a selfish player. Everybody is just coming together as a unit, and that's really good. So that also shows you how good Willie Davis is recruiting players from other teams, and us making trades and making the right trades at that. So it's really nice to see those things. There's really no other way to put this than to be perfectly blunt about it. This is the best organization all around, front office, head coach, players that we have ever had. So if you haven't made it out to training camp and you haven't seen what these boys are doing, get out there. This is some exciting times. Don't be worried about the blunders that we have here and there, the offensive line slacking one day, or Mahomes making a bad throw, or Kendall Fuller getting burnt on a blown coverage. Those things happen. There's no such thing as a perfect team. Just remember that. There's no such thing as a perfect team. So as long as we can remember that and understand what our true value is and where our true value lies in the NFL, instead of picking apart every single tiny little flaw that you can find on the team, I think that you'll have a better overall perspective of what we're looking at here. So I just want all of you to understand that and understand that this is a process and we have a bunch of new pieces, but these pieces are putting together a perfect puzzle. So it's just amazing to see these things happen, and it's nice to see this 2-minute drill implemented. It's nice to see the no huddle implemented, and it's nice to see our leader Mahomes taking control. He really is the leader of this team. He's proving it. He's not showing any otherwise. And I love the no huddle aspect. That was kind of the first time that we really got to see the no huddle, and to see Conley and Kelsey targeted as many times as they were, it was nice. It was nice to see Mahomes understand the defensive packages. It was nice to see him read the blitzes. It was nice to see him understand all the different packages and schemes that our defense is throwing at him, because we have a very, very creative coordinator staff, and so they throw multiple packages at Mahomes, and he's reacting to them very well. He's reading these schemes and coverages, and it's just really nice to see. The first team and offense and defense played a full drive. The offense did tap into some things that we'll utilize in the season, and it was just nice. And we kind of like to hide those things through training camp and preseason. You don't really want to show any other team what you have coming in the upcoming season. So you really got to be careful as to just how much you show on the training camp field, and also keep that in mind. Kansas City Chiefs Kingdom, we are not showing the packages that we will be implementing in real games. So keep that in mind. They look great. They really do. There's not really a whole lot of negative things to say, and if you're a true Chiefs fan, you never have anything negative to say. It's just a great situation for Kansas City, and I couldn't be happier. Get ready, Kansas City. First preseason game is right around the corner. We're nearing the end of July already, Kansas City. That's some exciting. That might be the most exciting news of this broadcast tonight, as we are entering the preseason schedule here in just about 2 weeks. And it seemed like just yesterday it was the 1st of June, and we were chomping at the bit. It was the most boring month, and it couldn't have drug on anymore. And now here we are at the end of July, getting ready to head into preseason. So I really look forward to that, and I hope all of you do as well. This is a really exciting time in Kansas City, and just look for the up and coming weeks to be extremely energetic. Every single player is talking Super Bowl. Every single coach is talking Super Bowl. Our GM is talking Super Bowl. The fans are talking Super Bowl. So, Kansas City, I'd say get ready for a Super Bowl. It's an amazing time to be a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so don't miss out on it. Get out there to Arrowhead this year. I cannot emphasize that enough, Kansas City. Get out there to Arrowhead. Root on your Chiefs. Let's shatter that record. You know we can do it. If our excitement is that high in this organization, higher than it's ever been, that means that our lungs should be louder than they have ever been. So come on, Kansas City. I personally am challenging you. The Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour is challenging you to break that record. I want to be there for it. I want to be standing next to all of you, screaming my head off, pounding on the back of those seats and jumping up and down. I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to get out there and tailgate. And I want to put this out there. I will be to as many home games as possible. I will be out there tailgating, and I will let everybody know right where I'm at. I will bring drinks and food for anybody who comes and parties with us at our RV, and just having a blast. So that's something I want all of you to look forward to. I would love to see all of you there, and don't miss out on that. Everybody's welcome. I love all of you. I love every single person in Chiefs Kingdom, no matter what. So let's get out there and party. Let's drink some beer. Let's eat some gates. I want to be out there when the gates. I want to be out there before the gates open. If they let me stay the night in the parking lot and let me drink beer all night and eat barbecue all night, camp out and have a great time, that's exactly where I'm gonna be. So that tells you where my heart lies. I can't wait, Kansas City. It is right around the corner. So get excited. This really concludes my podcast for tonight. There's a lot of things to talk about, but we obviously watch videos and watch interviews, and we look things up on the internet. And I really just like to touch base on the key aspects of training camp. I've laid out the schedule for all of you. If you haven't seen that, just go to my webpage, the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour podcast. You can Google it. I'm on iTunes. I'm on Google Play, Spreaker.com. I don't know why, but iHeartRadio is still pending. But there's a lot of third-party apps where you can find me too. So just Google Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour. This is not the only platform that I am on, Spreaker.com. So just keep that in mind. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. Look me up. Add me. I love to conversate with the fans. I'm really passionate. And it's just a really, really great time. So Kansas City, I love you. I hope you all are relaxing tonight, having a great evening before we start this wonderful work week. But just remember, we're 2 work weeks away from starting the season. And that's amazing. 2 short weeks away from starting the season. So look, have a wonderful night. This is Richard Smith with the Kansas City Chiefs Power Hour, where we talk about all things Kansas City Chiefs, and I couldn't be more excited. I love you, Kansas City. Have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.